Hey, it's your boy ObZ here. Do it to life, for life, do it to you, do it to 2021. A whole year of breast cancer awareness and personal growth. Today is, what is the day? Tuesday, and it is freezing out here. It is freezing. Put that right there. Today is Tuesday, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do a little something different from the Ask Method on Tuesdays. I brush up on my one thing, tell you what I did yesterday. Well, here's how it works. See, it's going to be the one thing by Gary Keller. So if you go out and get the book, go ahead and listen to it on audio. Check that out. But on Mondays, they had a one thing podcast. So I always listen to that on Mondays on my way to work. I ask my question, I listen to the podcast on my way to work. And then when I get to work, then I start to try to implement or use some of those one thing tactics, which is nothing but focus, right? Finding areas in my life that I can focus, using the focus and question what's the one thing that I can do right now that such by doing it will make everything else I was planning on doing right now easier or unnecessary. So we gotta be writing. I gotta brainstorm some things. We gotta be writing, gotta be putting some things down on paper in order to see it. Because once you write it out, then it's totally different. My brain tricks me and thinking, hey, look, man, let's go ahead and keep it in your head. Hey, I got this. This is the tank. I can remember all of it. We got the plan right up here. That's where the plan at. But guess what? Never works out that way. It's something about writing it out, seeing it out on paper, seeing how ridiculous the thing is, and being able to move the tiles around. I had listened to one book where a guy did write all his ideas out on like little cards, index cards, and was able to shuffle them around easily and organize them and put them in certain orders and also eliminate some of them. But the main thing, you gotta write it down. I found out if it's an area of my life that is not receiving a proper amount of growth, I guarantee you that I'm not writing enough down in those areas about those areas. So I keep my phone right by my bed. Oh yeah, let me tell you what happened, right? I know I'm kind of jumping ahead of the thing, right? That's gonna be seek, but man, I gotta go ahead and share this. It's about the message in the bottle, right? Cause in taking these habits and stuff out, guess what you gotta do? Um, Sometimes you get caught up in what they call the habit loop. I don't know if you listen to this book. I listened to a book called, I think it's by Charles Duhigg, Power of Habits. Say it's like a tape or something that always plays. Once the tape is queued up, it automatically plays its entirety, and it leads to the same thing. I'm trying to hold this thing, holding this little wand right here with this glove on. It's kind of tough, so I'm gonna press it right there. So so if you find yourself, it's certain habits and stuff that I got right. So what I'm gonna start doing, I was watching one of my episodes of Star Trek. Yeah, I'm a Star Trek. I'm a Trekkie. So I was watching it, and then the one thing that they did do. Let me go ahead and hit this. I think that's my alarm going off. One thing they did do, they was caught in a loop, in a habit, right? It was a habit, kept repeating itself, kept repeating itself. But it was leaving clues when they go back through. Their memories were erased, right? You know that you went through it, but the events and stuff leading up to it, you didn't know how to stop it, right? So what they did is they were starting to see these clues. Yeah, dog, I just went through that. I said I wasn't gonna do that again, but it keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. So what they did is they messed themselves a message in a bottle. Okay, analyze, do the Doctor Strange on it. You got to find out what sequences led up to that event. And once you find out that event, then you got to look at the choices that you made because you normally end up making the same choices. And that message in a bottle will let you know that, hey, this is the choice that you made last time. What is your option of other choices? Let's try another choice. Or you can just leave yourself I kind of call it my Noah's Ark too, right? You know, when it's not raining, go ahead and build and work on the house and build a foundation up. But a lot of times when it's sunny out, we want to go out and play and have fun. And then we forget that it just stormed and rained on us all night and it's soaking wet and made us miserable. We just forget all that when the sun comes out. But that's one of the one things. I mean, if you focusing in an area, you may pick one habit instead of cause in listen to that book, the one thing the guy was talking about losing weight. So a lot of times people think it just opened my eyes. Losing weight is more than one habit. See, he says like 8 habits in losing weight. That's why a lot of people don't lose it for a consistent period of time, because it takes such a toll on your brain and your circumstances to change all those habits at once. For an example, if you want to lose weight, then you got to meal prep. That's a habit in itself. You got to buy groceries on a regular basis. That's a habit in itself. You got to buy the right groceries. That's a habit in itself. Then you got to cook on a regular basis. That's a habit in itself. In addition to the exercising, that's a habit in itself. Getting enough rest is a habit in itself. All those habits, and you got to write them all down, and then you got to pick one that would knock out most of the other habits. What would that be? If I wrote all those habits down, what would that be? Will it be maybe it's getting enough rest? One lady was talking about um, she wanted to have success in her life and generating clients and generating leads, but it turned out her first domino was her health. She had to go back and lose weight in order to make more money, right? It's the health. It may be something different than what it is. It may not be the first domino, so you just got to keep seeking and finding until you get that first domino, and then we'll let down to the one thing. It's all about focus. Focus is beautiful. I was talking to my daughter the other night, and she had went through the one thing, and she was like, you know what, I listened to that thing, and it makes sense, but it's just not practical. Pops, it ain't practical. I mean, it's so simple that it just can't work like that. Then we got to talking, right? And she said, you know what I'm doing today? I said, what are you doing right now? She said, well, I'm not spending a bunch of money. I'm putting all my money towards my student loan. I said, so really you are exercising the one thing. She said, well, I guess I am. I said, you just never looked at it. You use the one thing. We all use it from time to time in certain areas, but it's the ability to transpose that to another area. The ability to use those same techniques to lift it off the page and transplant it into another area. Our brains tend to tell us that that's different. This is different. This is not that. This is different from that. You see what I'm saying? But it is. It's the same thing. Transpose it over. I talked to her, and so she started thinking. I think it was an epiphany. Um, Somebody was saying that when you teach people, it's another book I was listening to. When you're talking to folks, it should be their idea. You should question them, and they should discover the idea for themselves. And that's what she was doing. Up to that point, I've been telling her and telling her, but instead of her just analyzing what she's already doing, that's all she's doing is the one thing. She's not spending money on anything. The only thing she's worried about and focus is her student loan. That's her first domino. So she pours all her energy into that. I mean, she works full time, and then she gets off there, and she's going out and doing a delivery service in the whole 9 yards. She just focused. She said, "Yeah, I guess I am doing the one thing. I may need to go back and revisit that." I said, "Yeah, you need to go back and revisit it because you already living it, already living it." You see what I'm saying? So we already done it in the past. I always ask a lot of people if they ever played sports in school. A lot of people have. Ask them have they ever been any good in it. A lot of people have. In certain areas of our life that we are good in it. And the reason we were good in it is because we practiced, because we paid attention, because we did certain things. And I said all we have to do is transpose those things that we did in that area over into this new area, and we should receive tremendous growth. And that's what I'm doing right now. Guess what? I am going to check out the Miracle Morning since I'm out here in the mornings. I've listened to it. That's what was on the podcast yesterday. Give y'all a quick little recap if you didn't listen to it. The guy of the Miracle Morning is coming out with a movie on the 12th of December. So I am going to check it out. I heard some about this stuff earlier, but I think now at this point, at 51 days in, I may need to beef my morning up a little bit because I'm looking at some holes. See, I'm aware of the holes now. I got some holes early in the morning. I'm still not dashing out of bed right early in the morning, especially when my wife's at the fire station. But So that's why I see some holes in there that I can kind of fill those holes in there. So that's what I'm doing. The Miracle Morning. It is on, it is on YouTube, so you can listen to it. But I suggest just get the audio book, and if you like books and you don't add one to your library, go ahead and buy that one because it can't hurt you, right? Okay, can't hurt you. Need a kind of simple routine that's kind of squeeze in and sow some good seeds. And I think it's good seeds. I think it's two parts to it. I'm listening to part two today. And then maybe next week I may talk a little bit on the Wednesday to kind of let you know what part two was. If you're not listening to the One Thing podcast, guess what? I give you a brief overview. And what he was talking about is just, it's SAVERS is the acronym that he uses. And it's several techniques. He said you can use one of the techniques, or you can use all SAVERS techniques. You can use 10 minutes a day, you can use an hour a day. Because one thing my pastor told me, you get out what you put in. The effort that you put in be directly proportional to the results that you get out on the back end. So the day 51, hey, I thought 20 degrees was gonna be a little bit tough, man. But guess what? As long as I'm prepared, I got the glove, I got the hats, I got the hoodie on. As long as I'm prepared, man, we could do it because I knew ahead of time. And let's deal with these habits. It's going to come up ahead of time. So we're going to be using these techniques and applying it to our lives. Do it to our lives, do it to our physical life. That's what this whole thing is about. It's taking what we know and doing it to our life. That's what this is about. Do it to life. And so it's your boy Obz. I'm rolling out, right? I'm rolling out. No, I'm still here, right? I'm still here for another 300 some days. I'm still right here. And you know what? It's forever, right? It's forever. I can't go wrong, right? I can't go wrong. It's gonna lead me down a wonderful path. Look at that tree changing back there. Oh yeah, your boy changing with nature. I'm out in nature. It's your boy Obz. Do it to life for life. Do it to you. Do it to 2021. A whole year of breast cancer awareness and personal growth. Peace out.